South Australian Senator Alex Antic made this very serious point, very humorously, in federal parliament this week.
We know that the climate alarmists terrify people with their language, but even by their own standards, this latest foray into the catastrophic language is pretty outrageous. It's quite frankly sent the left in this building off like a rocket. They've been running around all week, waving their arms around like the robot from Lost in Space, and it's all because of this, I believe. But you see, this isn't about facts, and it isn't about data, science or the environment. It's about politics, control and fear. And the alarmists need to remain fresh with their language to stay on the cutting edge. Otherwise, some other activist will crawl out from their mum's basement and take their mantle as the chief alarmist. So when I was a kid in the 1980s, Madam Acting Deputy President, they used the term greenhouse effect. But who's going to fear that? Greenhouse is a friendly place, so when the greenhouse effect became defunct, they started using global warming. But you're not going to frighten kids with that, so they moved on to climate change, and then they could blame a snowstorm and a hurricane from climate change. But they needed to grow the fear exponentially, and then we got climate crisis, climate emergency, climate breakdown and even climate apocalypse. But the question really is where to from here? And so I've taken the liberty of coming up with 5 suggested names that I think will be much more terrifying, so that the UN can use them in advance. I've come up with number 1, global climate inferno, which sounds pretty terrifying. Number 2, mega universe heat death. That one should work. Number 3, super global spine-chillingly hot, which I think might terrify the kids. Stop using your stove, you capitalists. I reckon that one will work. And then the final one that I held up for consideration is you will die soon, which I think should do the job. Terrify everybody, inform nobody. That's the way of the world now.
South Australian Senator Alex Antic speaking in the Senate this week.